Well, if you clicked on this video, you've probably got a crappy lawn, and you may be wondering, how can I fix my crappy lawn? Well, right now, I also have kind of a crappy lawn here in the backyard, but it looks like that for several reasons, right? This backyard is used as a playground. I've got a big dog that kind of tracks things up quite a bit back here. I've got lots of projects going on. It seems like every year we've got a new construction project going on, whether it's a deck or a big landscaping project. It's just always something, right? But this is kind of what I call the all-American lawn. And what do I mean by an all-American lawn? The all-American lawn to me is something that comes to mind when you think of, you know, for me, like in my own mind, it's my grandpa's lawn, thick, green, nice stand of turf that gets used. The kids are out there playing, the dogs are tracking in it and using it as a bathroom. It's not perfect by any means, but it's made to be used, and that's really what this backyard is. And so what I'm going to be doing through the portion of this year is I'm going to be going through kind of a few-step process of how you can fix a lawn like this if you have a lawn that gets used, or maybe you just have a crappy lawn, you want to turn it around. And we're going to do that using practical products that you can get pretty much anywhere. Just walking around my lawn, kind of taking notes on things that I need to fix and maybe some things that need to be taken care of right off the bat. One is we've got a lot of debris in the lawn that needs to be cleaned up. A lot of things fall from the trees that we have back here, and that's a constant battle. Always picking up debris in the back lawn. I definitely have some weeds. I've got clover back here. I've got a little bit of crabgrass. I've got some broadleaf weeds that need to be cleaned up, so we'll kind of go over that in this video. And then I also need to get some fertilizer down. It's really not growing as aggressively back here as it is in the front yard, and so we're going to go ahead and we're going to give it a little push. I'm going to apply some fertilizer and kind of show you kind of a practical product you can use, or anything you can find at your local big box store or landscape shop, wherever you like to buy your products from, even some options online. And then we'll kind of talk about grass seed, because I do have a lot of bare spots in this area that will definitely need to be reseeded. And kind of going along with that, let's pretend that, I missed my pre-emergent application. Because if you're watching this video at this point in time, very good chance that you probably missed your pre-emergent application. Even if you intended on doing it or not, there are different ways that you can get around the weeds without applying a pre-emergent, and we'll also talk about that today. So let's go ahead and start step number one of getting this lawn cleaned up. And we need to get the blower out and a rake and clean up some of this debris before we make any applications of fertilizer or herbicides or anything to this lawn. So let's go. We got most of the debris cleaned up down here. You're never going to get 100% of it. You know, you try to do it with a blower if you're like me and you've got some mature trees back here. I like to invest in a good rake. The landscape rake that I was using is the groundskeeper rake, and it does a really good job of getting up all the debris that's kind of in the canopy. I'm going to allow some of the leaves and things I still got in the lawn. That'll be something that the rotary mower will take care of. The vacuum action will kind of suck it up. So now that we've got a lot of the debris cleaned up in the lawn, let's go ahead and take a look at the fertilizer and get some of that down. So if DIY lawn care is sort of a new venture for you, and you're confused about what products you need to use or maybe what you should be applying to your lawn right now, there's really one simple rule of thumb that you need to be looking at, and that is N, P, and K. That's nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, labeled right on the bag. I'm using this fertilizer from Yard Mastery, although you can use any sort of fertilizer out there, whether it's a triple 12 or a 2406 like this. Really just kind of use what's readily available to you. Unless you like to click and ship to your door, then Yard Mastery is a good resource for you. But when you're getting started, I know there's a lot of products out there that are there's a lot of luxury and kind of unnecessary, some people may call them, products out there that may not be necessary for you right now. I don't want you to get confused over that. So just to get started, you're going to be focusing on fertilizing, mowing, and watering. Those are 3 cultural practices you're going to want to get down, and I promise you, if you do those things, you're going to have a nice looking lawn. So what I'm going to do today with the flagship is I'm going to put down an entire pound of nitrogen on the lawn today. That's going to get me through for a while, and I'm really not going to do much outside of mowing and watering, just so I can get the grass to kind of come in and thicken up, and I can see if there's any areas where maybe I need to add some seed. Now when I say I'm going to add a full pound of nitrogen, there's calculations that you can do manually to sort of get to how much product you're going to need per 1,000 square feet. There are also lots of options out there as far as apps that do the math for you that you can find in the App Store or the Google Play Store, where you simply put in how much fertilizer you want to use, or maybe what are your nitrogen goals, how big your property space is that you're going to apply the fertilizer to, and it'll give you an exact reading on how much product you need to use to achieve the amount of nitrogen or pounds in the ground that you want to put out. So with the fertilizer, this is about 2,500 square feet back here. So if I want to do a full pound, it's roughly 10 pounds of fertilizer that I put down in the backyard. And of course, I'm going to water that in. The rain is going to help me with that today. If you want a link to the Turf Therapy app that I use to calculate the rates on my fertilizer, it makes it really easy to make those calculations so that you don't mess that up, especially if you're using like a basic Scott spreader or an Echo spreader. Those spreader settings are on pretty much every bag of fertilizer that you can get at a big box store, so it makes it really easy for you to make those calculations and not mess it up. Now it's time to just kind of look at the weeds, go around and get some topical spray. We're going to go over the top, do some spot spraying, some of the weeds we have back here in the lawn, and I'll show you some of the products you can find at a local big box store that are going to work pretty well for you. So if you've got a local big box store near you, which I'm almost certain that you do, here are some treatments for herbicides that you can use to get rid of common weeds like dandelions and crabgrass. Something like this Bayer All-in-One is going to have quinclorac and 2,4-D in it. Quinclorac is going to be the active ingredient that takes care of the crabgrass. And then for things like clover and chickweed, you want something like this, the Ortho, that has triclopir in it. Triclopir is going to be your active ingredient that's going to get the clover out. And then I always like to, for good measure, add a little bit of spreader sticker in here. This is a non-ionic surfactant, and I always tank mix into a sprayer like this, just a cheapo you can get pretty much anywhere, and just gives you a fine mist to put on top of the weeds. So make sure you read your labels on these. If you're going to be tank mixing into something like this, your rates are going to be different than if you're going out of a hose end sprayer. I always like to use a tank mix like that just because I get more use out of the product that lasts a lot longer than blanket spraying. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mix per label rate. I'm going to go ahead and mix the triclopir, quinclorac, and also about a tablespoon of the surfactant into my 2-gallon sprayer. I'm going to put a gallon of water in here. and then mix everything together, and then we'll go ahead and we'll spot spray some weeds. So that's pretty much it. I mean, water, fertilizer, mowing practices, a little bit of weed control, and you can have a really nice looking lawn, especially if you've never done it before. So if you want to fix your crappy lawn, that's how you get started. I'm going to do a few more videos and follow-ups on what this looks like after we've done these applications. Probably a week from now, we'll see what it looks like. And I'm going to get some rain this afternoon, so today was a perfect day for me to get out and actually get some fertilizer down, treat some weeds. The weeds that I sprayed should be rain fast in a couple hours, so it won't be any problem. And from that, we just kind of sit back and wait and have patience. The number one thing for people, I think, with lawn care is that they don't have enough patience with this, and it definitely takes somebody that has enough patience to actually make those applications and then just let the fertilizer, the herbicides, the watering, the mowing do its job. And when considering options for seed, if you're going to do an overseed, if you've got some spots like I do that need to be filled in, I have a tall fescue lawn back here, so I'm going to be coming back and reseeding with some tall fescue varieties like this one here called New Millennia. New Millennia has a lot of shade-tolerant varieties in it, so I'm excited to try this one out in my backyard to see how well it does with some of the shade issues that I have. Now, I would have gone ahead and prepared a seed bed today and went ahead and put in some seed because I'm going to get some rain. I just put fertilizer down. It's a great opportunity to go ahead and do an overseeding. The only problem is I have a tree that's going to be removed. The one you see behind me is coming down, so hopefully by the time I do a video update, the next time we record, that tree will be gone and I can go ahead and put seed down. But I really don't want to put anything down just yet because I'm going to have a lot of people back here trampling all over the lawn, and I don't want to have seed germination and then I basically lose it all due to foot traffic and things of that nature. So we'll go ahead and get into that a little bit more when we go ahead and do the update. With that, if you guys like these videos, don't forget to subscribe, especially if you want to see any follow-ups to the content I made today. Subscribe and follow along. Leave some comments in the comment section. Don't forget to like, and I'll see you guys in the next one.